Revealed. My parents' incredible hotel ban hidden the life-changing truth I own their chain. The sound of laughter echoed through the halls of the Lawson Hotel. But today, it was drowned out by a storm brewing in the back office. Jenna Lawson's heart raced as she caught snippets of her parents' heated conversation. How could it come to this? Selling the family hotel, a beloved establishment tied to their legacy, their lives? Every corner of the place whispered stories of childhood and the warmth of familiar faces. But all Jenna felt was the ice-cold grip of desperation. "Ma, we can't keep doing this." Her dad's voice trembled with frustration. "It's killing us." Jenna's chest tightened. They poured their souls into this place, transforming it from a simple building into a haven for travelers. The idea of losing it was unbearable. Memories spurred through her mind, the sound of the bell above the door ringing joyously, her mother's laughter filling the lobby as guests checked in, the smell of freshly baked cookies that clung to the air like a comforting hug. This place was more than just bricks and mortar. It was who they were. As her parents' voices faded, Jenna felt an overwhelming ache in her chest. It was a longing not just for the hotel, but for the family she once knew, filled with hopes and dreams. Somehow, amidst a growing rift, they had lost sight of each other. "I refuse to let go," she whispered defiantly, half to herself and half to the ghosts of those cherished moments. Determined to find a new path, Jenna put on her waitress apron with a heavy heart, and her mind swirled with possibilities. Her fingers scrolled through her phone, stumbling upon a community forum buzzing about the revitalization of small businesses in Maplewood. Her heart skipped. What if they could breathe new life into the hotel? She pictured a marketing campaign that highlighted the essence of their town, the stories, the beloved quirks, the undeniable spirit of community that had kept Maplewood alive, even if the world around it seemed to turn its back. But the road was anything but smooth. As she shared her vision, she faced resistance and disbelief. Friends turned distant. Whispers of doubt overpowered the encouragement. "It's a nice thought, Jenna, but this town has seen better days." The words stung. She felt small anxiety creeping in. Hours turned into days, her ambitions weighing heavy against the skepticism she encountered. Yet, she pressed on, fueled by a mission larger than herself. Then came the news that sliced even deeper. A prominent hotel chain wanted to buy the property. Panic surged through her veins, forcing Jenna into a corner she never imagined she'd face. This wasn't just about a building to her. It was about history, identity, and legacy. With trembling hands, she prepared for a showdown with corporate behemoths who only saw numbers. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Jenna stood at the negotiation table, a fire burning within her, each word a step toward reclaiming what mattered most. Would she find the strength to honor her parents' legacy without burying her own dreams? The silence enveloped her as she fought against the current, leaning into past memories and small-town dreams. She was at a crossroads, the stakes higher than ever, and each heartbeat echoed the same question. Could she bridge this gap before it was too late? The room felt tense, a coiled spring of unspoken words and wavering resolve. Jenna stared at the sleek, corporate representatives seated across from her, their expressions unreadable beneath the edge of polished professionalism. She inhaled sharply and straightened her back, willing a sense of calm to settle over her. "Thank you for meeting with me," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. "I'm here to discuss the Lawson Hotel. I understand you're interested in purchasing the property." The lead agent, a tall man with slicked-back hair, leaned forward, fingers steepled. "We appreciate your time. Your family's establishment is certainly a cornerstone in this community. But the reality is it's struggling. Our hotels cater to a larger demographic with modern amenities. We can turn this into something profitable." His words hung in the air, each syllable wrapping around Jenna like a tight noose. Profitable. The term felt cold and distant, completely at odds with the warmth and history tied to the hotel. At that moment, visions of past guests, smiling families, and eager travelers flickered like a movie reel in her mind. I understand the market has changed, Jenna replied, biting the inside of her cheek. But the essence of the hotel, the heart of Maplewood, can't just be measured in profits and losses. She took a breath, steeling herself. What if I told you there's potential here that transcends financial growth? The representatives exchanged glances, doubt evident in their eyes. She noticed a faint twitch of the lead agent's brow as he shifted in his seat, intrigued but unconvinced. Go on, he encouraged, tapping a pen against his notepad. I want to revitalize this hotel, not just save it from being sold to another chain. I have a vision, a marketing campaign that captures the stories, the personal touch, and the local artistry of our town, Jenna explained, her voice growing bolder. Maplewood has a spirit that larger corporations overlook. The unique charm, the connections we have with our guests, that's what draws people here. Even as she spoke, an undercurrent of doubt nagged at her. Could a little vision stand up to corporate giants? Could hope really carve out a space in such a commercial world? But determination surged, louder than the whispers of self-doubt. To accomplish that, intervened another representative, a woman with sharp features. You'll need substantial investment and resources. What do you have to back this up? Plan requires numbers. Plans are only as good as the heart behind them. Jenna shot back, surprising herself with the strength in her words. Sure, I might not have the numbers to support an empire, but I have something else: trust and community. We can organize events, promote local artists, and showcase what makes us special. We can attract visitors seeking authentic experiences. The room fell silent, the atmosphere almost palpable. Jenna held her breath, her pulse racing as she felt each second stretch out like an eternity. Could they see what she saw? Finally, the lead agent leaned back, rubbed his chin thoughtfully. You're making a compelling point, Jenna, but the core question remains. Can you convince your parents? They still hold the keys to this hotel. Her heart dropped. The prospect of revealing her plans to her parents filled her with dread. She wanted to rally them, to bring them into her vision. But would they even listen? Would they doubt her once again? As she hesitated, swallowing hard, I believe once they see the potential, they'll understand. This hotel means everything to them, to me. I can't let it slip away without a fight. As the meeting came to a close, she felt the weight of the world pressing down on her shoulders. This was not just a financial deal. It was a battle for her family legacy, a confrontation between dreams and reality. Walking out of the office, Jenna wavered between hope and fear. Could she unite her family when all she heard was doubt? The next steps loomed like thunderclouds overhead, but deep inside her, a flicker of belief ignited. The fight was just beginning. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. A text from her mother flashed on the screen, sending a shiver of anticipation down her spine. We need to talk. Urgent. What could her mother want? A rush of anxiety surged through her as she raced toward the hotel, the unfolding story threatening to change everything. Jenna's heart thumped like a drum as she sprinted toward the hotel, her mind racing with scenarios she didn't want to confront. The early evening sun cast long shadows across Maplewood's quaint streets as she made her way back, each step amplifying her mounting anxiety. What could her mother possibly want that warranted such urgency? Pushing through the heavy oak doors of the Lawson Hotel, Jenna was greeted by the familiar scent of polished wood and freshly brewed coffee. The lobby, with its grand chandelier and vintage furnishings, still felt like home. But today the warm atmosphere seemed strained. As she approached the reception desk, she caught sight of her mother, Martha, sitting at a nearby table. Her hands clasped tightly. A faint furrow in her brow told Jenna this wasn't just a casual conversation. Her mother looked up, letting out a heavy sigh that echoed the burdens they shared. Jenna, thank you for coming so quickly, Martha said, her voice shaky with emotion. There's something we need to discuss about the hotel and about your father. Jenna's stomach twisted. What's wrong? Is Dad okay? Her mother hesitated, eyes glistening. He fine. But he's been keeping something from us both. About the hotel's future. Chills crept down Jenna's spine. What do you mean? Martha pulled a piece of paper from her handbag, folding it carefully before sliding it across the table. I found this in his office. It's a proposal. He's been quietly negotiating with those representatives you met with. They want to purchase the hotel and turn it into a chain. A soulless version of what we've built here. Jenna's breath hitched as she read the familiar corporate jargon filling the pages. It all felt like a betrayal, a knife to the heart. But why would he do that? It's our legacy. This place means everything to him. Because, her mother replied softly, he's terrified of what happens if we can't keep it afloat. He thinks selling is the only way to guarantee its survival. Struggling to process the shock, Jenna felt anger swell within her. This isn't just a business. It's a part of our family. We can fight for it. Martha's eyes searched her daughter's face, pleading with understanding. But how? You heard them. We need money, a strong team, and influence. Your father thinks these negotiations are chances we can't afford to miss. No, Mom, Jenna said, shaking her head fiercely. He needs to see what this place truly means. We can revitalize the hotel together. We can make it work. I have ideas. That's why I called you, her mother said, urgency filling her voice. I want you to talk to him. Convince him before it's too late. Before he signs any contracts. Jenna hesitated. Would her father even listen? What if he doesn't want to hear me out? What if he's already too far gone into this deal? Martha reached out, squeezing Jenna's hands tightly. You have to try. You always fight for what you believe in. You're the heart of this family. If anyone can reach him, it's you. Jenna nodded, determination hardening her resolve. This wasn't just about saving a hotel. It was about reclaiming her family. But just as she began to feel a flicker of strength, her phone buzzed again, the screen lighting up with a text from the agent. Can we meet tonight? Let us discuss finalizing the deal. Every beat of Jenna's heart echoed the urgency of the moment. Would she make it in time? Would her father even hear her? With the weight of her family's legacy resting on her shoulders, she felt the fire ignite within her. This was her battle to fight. Mom, I have to go talk to him. I need to make my case before they seal the deal, she said, her pulse racing. As Jenna turned toward the hotel's back door, her mother's voice called after her. Please, Jenna, don't let this slip away. Jenna took a breath, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. Could she change his mind in time? Her feet flew beneath her as she dashed toward the back office, ready to confront the truth about her family, her future, and the legacy of the Lawson Hotel. And deep down, she knew this was just the beginning. Jenna hurried down the narrow corridor leading to her father's office, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. The faded photographs that lined the walls seemed to blur as she rushed past, each one a snapshot of family history intertwined with the heart and soul of the Lawson Hotel. She could hear her father's footsteps, soft yet firm, resonating from inside the room. As she reached the door, she paused for just a moment, inhaling deeply. The familiar musty scent of paper and old leather hit her, comforting yet suffocating. This was more than an office. It was a sanctuary, a treasure chest filled with memories of laughter, late-night brainstorming sessions, and dreams woven into every inch of the hotel's fabric. Slowly, she pushed the door open. Dad? She called softly, stepping inside. The flickering light cast shadows across the cluttered desk where her father, Tom, sat flipping through the proposal. His brow furrowed deeper, and Jenna noticed how the weight of the decision loomed heavily on his shoulders. He looked up, his expression caught between surprise and concern. Jenna, what are you doing here? I came to talk. About the hotel. About what's happening, she said, keeping her voice steady despite the tremors within. He glanced back at the papers, then at her. There's not much to discuss. I've made my mind up. What do you mean? Jenna's heart sank. You can't just throw away everything we've built. Dad, it's our family legacy. He shook his head, the lines of worry deepening around his eyes. I can't let this hotel go under. We can't keep it going without serious financial backing. This deal, it's a lifeline. I have to think about our future. But it's not just about the money. This place stands for so much more than that. It's about the heart of our family. The people who come here for memories, for warmth. Her words burst forth like a dam breaking, fueled by a fear that threatened to consume her. Those familiar eyes softened. You don't understand. The world is changing, Jenna. We can't keep holding on to the past. It's time to adapt. No, it's time to fight, she said, desperation clawing at her voice. We can update the hotel, bring in new business. I have ideas, events, partnerships. Please, just let me show you. Tom leaned back, uncertainty flickering across his face. This isn't easy, Jenna. You're asking me to risk everything I've worked for. I'm willing to risk everything for this place. Our family, she responded, her own resolve shining through. You taught me to fight for what I believe in. This isn't just another business deal. It's our home. If we sell, the hotel will never be the same. His gaze turned distant, lost in thought. Jenna could see him weighing her words, fighting against a tide of fear and familiarity. She stepped closer, reaching out to touch his arm gently. I know you love this hotel as much as I do. Let us make it thrive together, Dad. You don't have to do this alone. Tom finally looked at her, and in that moment, an unguarded vulnerability glimmered in his eyes. It's just so hard to believe that can happen. Believe in us, she pleaded softly. Believe in what we can create together. The room fell silent, tension crackling like electricity in the air. Jenna could feel the weight of all their hopes and fears pressing down around them. Would he hear her? Just then, her phone buzzed again, a notification lighting up the screen. The agent messaged, "Tonight's the last chance." The reminder jolted her back to reality. "Dad," she said, urgency creeping back in. "What will it be? Please, let us not let this slip away. I can't lose you or this place to a corporate machine." Tom took a deep breath, the lines of uncertainty etched across his forehead deepening as if etched in stone. Jenna could see the battle waging within him. Would he stand firm and seal their fate, or could she ignite that flicker of hope long enough to turn the tide? As the silence hung heavily between them, she realized this could be the moment that changed everything. "What will you choose?" Jenna whispered, her heart pounding, waiting for his reply. Would they reclaim the family legacy, or would it slip through their fingers forever? Time seemed to stretch infinitely in that small office, filled with the echo of Jenna's question. She watched her father, his eyes clouded with thoughts she couldn't fully grasp. He faced her like a man teetering on the edge of a cliff, ready to leap but unsure of what waited below. After what felt like an eternity, Tom finally broke the silence. Maybe you're right. We should try to save it. But what if it doesn't work?" The words tumbled out, heavy with the weight of doubt, yet they shimmered with the tiniest glimmer of hope. Jenna clenched her fists, fighting the urge to jump for joy. "Then we figure it out together. We brainstorm new ideas, revamp the marketing, imagine seasonal events that draw in the locals. What if we host community gatherings? We could bring the warmth back to this place." As she spoke, her voice swelled with passion. She could see the resolve beginning to spark in Thomas' eyes, but he hesitated still. "It's not just about ideas, Jenna. We need money, and we're running out of time." Her heart raced, searching for a solution. What about some of the regulars? The people who love this place? Maybe they'd be willing to invest. This hotel isn't just a building. It's a community. We could reach out and ask for help. Thomas' brow furrowed again, but she knew that under the surface, the cogs were turning. "You'd be surprised how far people are willing to go for a place they cherish," she added, heartened by her own memories of families celebrating milestones in their hotel. Just as the threads of their conversation intertwined, Jenna's phone buzzed once more, this time a phone call. The name on the screen stopped her in her tracks. Sarah, her childhood friend, the one who had always believed in her. She hesitated, then answered. "Jenna, I heard about the hotel. Are you okay?" "I not now, Sarah," Jenna cut her off. "I need you. We need a plan. Can you gather some friends and come down to the hotel? I think we can save it, but we need support. Help. Of course. I'll be there in an hour. What do you want us to do? Spread the word. Let people know we're fighting to keep the Lawson alive. We need to rally the community. She felt a surge of energy at the thought. This was it. They could turn the tide together. When she hung up, Tom was watching her, a mix of surprise and admiration on his face. You really think we can do this? I know we can. Jenna's voice held the steady confidence she longed for her father to embrace. Let us show everyone what this hotel means, not just to us but to the town. As Tom finally nodded, Jenna felt the flood of relief surging through her. They might actually have a chance. Minutes felt like seconds as they worked together, laying the groundwork for outreach. Jenna felt lighter. Each call they made, each message sent, was a step toward pulling the hotel back from the brink. Later, as Jenna glanced out the office window, she noticed a small group of familiar faces collecting in the lobby. Curiosity sparked on their features. Looks like the word is spreading, Tom said quietly, pride seeping into his voice. See? We're not alone, Jenna smiled. However, just as a heartwarming sense of unity settled in, her phone buzzed again. Another message from the agent. This is your final warning. You have until midnight. The weight of those words pressed down on Jenna once more. Would their efforts be enough? What if the time ran out before they could make their voices heard? Dad, she said, turning to him, no matter what happens, we're doing this together. We fight for our family. For this hotel. I'll never stop believing in us. As Tom took her hand, Jenna could feel the warmth of his grip, a promise to stand steadfast amid the chaos. But as the clock ticked down, dread bubbled back to the surface. They might have hope, but would it be enough to save the Lawson Hotel from its fate? The minutes flickered away, building a sense of urgency so thick it almost choked her. What would they march into next? Would they reclaim their legacy? Or would time sweep it away? The sound of footsteps echoed through the hallway. Jenna's heart raced as she opened the office door, her hope clinging to the thin air. A wave of familiar faces greeted her, a mix of friends, patrons, and a few locals she hadn't seen in ages. Their expressions were a cocktail of concern and determination, and for a brief moment, that spark of unity she had envisioned blazed brightly. Jenna! Sarah's voice cut through the anxious hum. We've been talking. It's time to mobilize the community. You need to be ready. Ready for what? Jenna stepped into the hallway, her hands trembling slightly. Panic threatened to seep in, but she swallowed it down. I mean, what can we really do in such a short amount of time? Tom followed behind Jenna, crossing arms over his chest like a protective barrier. We can hold a meeting right here in the lobby. Get everyone involved, brainstorm. If we can get them on our side, maybe, just maybe, we can create a buzz. Nods of agreement rippled through the crowd. People shared ideas, envisioning everything from bake sales to community potlucks. Each suggestion felt like a heartbeat, pulsing with renewed vigor. Jenna felt a warmth bubble within her. They were all rallying behind this cause, her family's legacy, and it gave her the courage she needed. As they gathered around the lobby, Tom took charge, his voice steady. Everyone, thank you for coming. We're facing a tight timeline, and I can feel the pressure building, but I also feel something else, a sense of community. That's what makes this hotel special, and that's what we need to draw upon. The crowd nodded, encouragement shining in their eyes. Jenna's heart fluttered with admiration. Her father had always been the rock of their family, and seeing him found strength amid the storm filled her with hope. Let us split up and spread the word, Jenna instructed, her voice rising with newfound confidence. Sarah and I will handle social media. We'll create an event, something big. People need to feel the urgency, like they have something to fight for. Count me in for flyers, shouted an enthusiastic voice from the back, which encouraged a ripple of agreement and suggestions. The energy was electric, but soon Jenna's gaze wandered to the ominous clock. Midnight still felt miles away, yet it loomed large, casting a shadow over all their plans. Hours passed as they worked tirelessly, their ideas taking shape. Laughter mingled with planning sheets. The air was charged with anticipation, but that countdown nagged at Jenna. Every buzz of her phone echoed as a reminder, a gut-wrenching urgency that fought against the brightness of the moment. She couldn't ignore the reality they faced. Finally, as voices faded and she found a moment to look around, Jenna saw it, the uneasy glances, the uncertainty written across the faces of the crowd. This was bigger than her family. It was about a whole community that had cherished this hotel, but what would happen if they failed? Jenna? Sarah's voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back. What's wrong? Just thinking, what if it's not enough? What if midnight hits and we're still here holding on to nothing? Jenna's voice quivered. We won't let that happen, Sarah insisted. We're all here for a reason and we can't give up. You've got to believe that people care, that they will stand by us. In that moment, something within Jenna shifted. She remembered the countless faces, the families who had turned moments into memories at the Lawson. This wasn't just her battle. It was everyone's, and she had to fight for each of them, no matter how daunting the challenge. As she stepped toward the group, determination ignited behind her eyes. Tonight, we may be small, but we're mighty. Let us turn this into something they won't forget. We won't just fight for the hotel. We'll fight for the heart of this community. Her words hung in the air, igniting a round of cheers and applause. Encouragement swelled around her like a warm blanket. Yet even as their spirits soared, Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that the real test was yet to come. With the clock still ticking and voices rising, one question loomed in her mind. When faced with the reality of their impending fate, would they find the strength they needed to overcome it, or would they discover something far more profound than they ever anticipated? The atmosphere crackled with excitement as Jenna stood before the crowd, their faces lit not just by the fluorescent lights, but by a shared hope that had rekindled over the course of the evening. The clock continued its relentless countdown, but for now, they had something to fight for, a cause that went beyond just bricks and mortar. All right, folks, Jenna called out, her voice ringing with strength. Let us divide. We need to get these flyers out and hit social media hard. We've got to make sure everyone knows what's at stake. Sarah moved alongside her, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. I'll coordinate the social media campaigns. If we can create a hashtag, we can rally people online, and even those who can't make it in person can still support us. Meanwhile, Tom gathered a small team around him. Let us go door to door. We'll explain the urgency and ask people to come and support the event. Everyone has a story about the Lawson, and tonight, we'll give them a platform to share it. As the crowd broke apart, Jenna felt a surge of energy. She moved with purpose, her steps fueled by adrenaline and the echo of laughter reverberating in the hall like a sweet reminder of home. Grabbing a stack of flyers and a pen, Jenna headed towards the nearby cafe. She smiled at familiar faces as they embraced the urgency of the moment. People were genuinely eager to lend a hand. A mother with 2 kids offered to help with the bake sale, while an elderly gentleman who had been a guest for decades promised to share his favorite stories about the hotel's impact on his life. But the closer Jenna got to the cafe, the more her heart thudded in her chest. They were pushing hard against the clock, the digital numbers underlining every action they took. She took a deep breath, grounding herself before entering the cafe. Inside, the familiar scent of freshly brewed coffee tickled her senses, but her stomach churned with nerves. She saw a few patrons, each lost in their conversations. Jenna approached the barista, a young man with a friendly smile, and placed the flyers on the counter. Hey, can you help us out? We're trying to save the Lawson Hotel. We're having a big event tonight, and we'd love for people to come and show their support. The barista nodded, glancing at the flyers with curiosity. Of course, the Lawson? I've been there since I was a kid. I'd love to help. Just then, Jenna's phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out only to see a message from her dad. Jenna, I'm proud of you. Whatever happens, remember you're not alone. A tear slipped down her cheek. She wiped it away quickly. She couldn't afford to show weakness now. This was their moment, and she had to stay strong for her father, for herself, and for everyone counting on her. As she made her way back to the hotel, The atmosphere was electric, with the sound of voices rising and hands busy working. But the ticking of the clock remained a relentless reminder. Midnight loomed large and daunting. "Everyone," Jenna called out once more, gathering the team in the lobby again. "We need to make sure we're ready for anything. If we're going to do this, we have to come together in ways we never imagined." This led to an unexpected wave of emotion. Some people shared their memories, bringing laughter, tears, and a deeper connection. The room was filled with heartfelt stories, moments of love, loss, and second chances, all forming a tapestry of what the Lawson truly represented. But as the stories unfolded and the sense of community grew, Jenna's internal fear nagged at her. Was this enough? What if the chances they were taking led to a dead end? What lay beyond the clock striking midnight? With the tension woven into the fabric of their gathering, Jenna felt the urgency shift into something deeper, a determination that perhaps tonight would reveal not just their fate, but the strength they never knew they had. As the clock inched closer to midnight, she took a deep breath. It was time to make the next move, but would it be the right one? Jenna's heart raced as she looked around the room. The stories flowed freely, each revelation stitching them closer together. But in the pit of her stomach remained the unshakable fear that time might run out. She glanced at the clock, the bright red numbers seemingly mocking her, each tick louder than the last. "Okay, let us come back together for a moment," she said, raising her hands to silence the chatter. "I want us to brainstorm one last push before we hit the streets again. We need a big finish." Tom stepped forward, excitement in his eyes. "What if we do a countdown? Everyone can gather outside around the hotel, count down to midnight together. We can have candles, some music, it'll feel like a celebration of our memories." Jenna loved the idea. It'd create a sense of unity, a moment to mark their fight. "Yes, we'll light candles and share one last story for everyone to hear. We can capture it on video for social media too. Let us make sure no one feels left out, even if they can't physically be here." Sarah nodded enthusiastically. "And we can end with a group photo, everyone holding their candles. That way, people who support us from far away can feel part of our effort. Let us make a huge splash online." The group erupted in murmurs of agreement. Jenna could feel a surge of energy course through her. They were not just fighting for a hotel. They were fighting for memories, for community, for the heart of a town that had seen so much history. "Okay, let us divide up tasks," she instructed. "Tom, gather a group to get the candles and music. Sarah, you're on the video. I want to make sure we show everyone how much the Lawson means to us." As they moved with purpose, Jenna felt a renewed sense of hope pushing through her anxiety. They needed to give their all in these final moments. She watched her friends jump into action, their enthusiasm infectious, sparking motivation in her. But just as they began to move, Jenna felt a hand grip her shoulder. It was Mrs. Thompson, the elderly lady who had been a fixture at the hotel for decades. "Jenna, dear," she said, her voice shaking slightly, "I wanted to share something before the night ends. Something about the Lawson, about your family." Jenna's heart raced. "What is it, Mrs. Thompson?" The woman peered into her eyes, and for a moment, the world around them faded. "There are secrets tied to that hotel and to your parents. They didn't just build it to create a business, they built a legacy, a foundation that goes much deeper." Jenna's breath caught. "What do you mean?" "There's much more than what you think. You deserve to know the truth. But maybe not tonight." Mrs. Thompson's eyes flickered to the clock, urgency shining in them. "You must focus on the event. But once the clock hits midnight, come find me." With that, she turned away, melting back into the crowd, leaving Jenna reeling from her words. Confusion swirled in her mind. What could be so important that it couldn't be revealed now? What did she need to know about her parents? She shook her head, pushing that thought away for now. They were racing against the clock, and she couldn't let the possibility of secrets distract her from what was at stake. As candles began to light up the room, Jenna exhaled deeply, drawing strength from the faces surrounding her. This was their moment. The countdown was on, and she needed to stay focused. With her heart pounding in her chest and questions lingering in her mind, Jenna stepped to the front again. Okay, everyone, let us make this count. When the clock strikes midnight, we will show the world the heart of the Lawson. But as everyone nodded and cheered, a small voice echoed in the back of her mind, would this truly be enough to save what they loved? And would she understand the legacy that came with it before it was too late? Jenna felt the weight of anticipation wrap around her like a heavy blanket. Their plan was solid, but could it really make a difference? As she looked at the candles flickering to life, she drew strength from the courage etched on her friends' faces. This was their last stand, a night to carve their memories into the stone of the hotel's history. Let us set the mood, Tom called out, bustling to the music setup. The sound of soft melodies filled the air, weaving through the murmurs of the crowd gathering outside. With every passing moment, Jenna's mind wandered back to Mrs. Thompson's cryptic words. What secrets were hidden beneath the floorboards of the Lawson? What legacy did her parents leave? She could almost hear the whispers of history begging to be uncovered, but she needed to focus on tonight. Jenna, Sarah's voice cut through her thoughts, pulling her back to the present. Can you help me set up the cameras over there? We need the right angle for the countdown. Of course. She dashed over, adrenaline kicking in again. Jenna felt a surge of purpose. Helping Sarah felt like pulling everything back into focus. They were in this together, and it was not just about her. Once the camera was set, Jenna glanced back toward the bar where Mrs. Thompson had been. The crowd outside was starting to gather, candles in hand. She felt her heart quicken, seeing familiar faces, faces that carried the weight of shared stories and memories, all united against the looming threat of losing the Lawson. Ready? Sarah asked, positioning her phone. Yep, let us do it. Jenna replied, her voice steady. The minutes slipped away like grains of sand. Outside, laughter mingled with the music, growing louder as the countdown approached. The crowd was buzzing with excitement, but Jenna felt an odd tension. Her thoughts kept treading water around the mystery Mrs. Thompson had planted in her mind. She wished she could dive into those depths, but there simply wasn't time. Jenna took a moment to compose herself. She scanned the faces of the townspeople, old and young, all eagerly awaiting their moment of unity. She felt a sense of responsibility wash over her. These people need me, she thought fiercely. All right, in 5 minutes we're starting the countdown, Tom declared, waving an arm. His enthusiasm was contagious, igniting cheers from the crowd. Jenna felt her own heart lift. We should prepare a story, Jenna shouted, trying to direct the energy. Maybe the story of how the Lawson came to be. Let everyone share their favorite memories. I can start. A voice piped up from the back. It was a familiar face, Mr. Carson, a longtime patron, who had spent countless nights laughing and sharing tales at the Lawson. Great idea. Jenna smiled, feeling a knot of warmth unravel inside her. Time might be fleeting, but the spirit of the Lawson was alive, as vibrant as the candles flickering around them. Yet, as they gathered to prepare for the countdown, the clock ticked mercilessly on, its numbers bleeding into each minute. Jenna glanced around, catching Sarah's eye as she hurriedly prepped the camera. Are you okay? Sarah mouthed, concern darkening her features. Yeah, but what if the truth is bigger than what we imagined? Jenna whispered just loud enough for Sarah to hear. Before Sarah could respond, Tom interrupted with a broad smile. All right, it's almost time. Everyone, gather round. Prepare for the countdown. The excitement in the air buzzed like electricity. Jenna took her place at the front, heart hammering, feeling the camaraderie surrounding her. She lifted her candle high, feeling a wave of determination course through her veins. Ready? Tom shouted, gesturing for everyone to raise their candles. Let us do this, Jenna said, her voice strong. But as they began to count down, Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that the biggest reveal was yet to come. With each number, she felt both the excitement and an unsettling curiosity about what awaited her after midnight. What would Mrs. Thompson reveal? And would it change everything? The energy was electric as the crowd joined Jenna, their voices harmonizing in the countdown. 10, 9, 8. Each number echoed loudly around the hotel, their hearts swelling as they stood united, candles flickering brightly against the evening sky. Jenna's breath caught as she gazed into the sea of supportive faces. She could see Mr. Carson, the elderly couple who had celebrated their anniversary here for years, and even the barista from the cafe, all chanting together. A rush of warmth flooded her heart. The hotel wasn't just a business. It was the lifeblood of this town. 3, 2, 1. The collective cheers erupted as the clock struck midnight, and screams of joy filled the air. Jenna raised her candle higher, triumphant tears shimmering in her eyes. This was their moment not just to save a hotel but to celebrate the community that had fought for it. As the last echoes of their cheers faded into the night, the warmth of camaraderie wrapped around Jenna like a soft blanket. She looked into the crowd, feeling empowered by the support they all shared. But then, she remembered Mrs. Thompson's words, the heavy secret that lay just beneath the surface. "Everyone, thank you," Jenna called out, her voice ringing clear. "Tonight isn't just about the Lawson Hotel. It's about the stories we weave together. Let us keep our spirit alive and make sure the heart of Maplewood continues to thrive." Just as Jenna's wisdom flowed through the crowd, she felt a tap on her shoulder. Turning, she saw Mrs. Thompson approaching, her eyes serious yet warm. "Jenna, I think it's time we talk away from all this excitement." Nervous energy fluttered in Jenna's stomach, but she nodded and stepped away with the older woman. They walked a short distance, where the crowd dimmed to a distant murmur, and Mrs. Thompson leaned close. "When your parents opened this hotel, they intended to create something special, a safe haven for travelers, but also a place where the community could come together," she began, her voice laced with nostalgia. "Your mother's passion was infectious, and your father's big heart built a foundation that reached far beyond walls." Jenna felt a lump in her throat. Mrs. Thompson continued, "But over the years, pressures mounted. They worried about finances, about losing the hotel. Your father thought selling was the only solution, but he would never admit it out loud. He doesn't just care about the hotel. He cares about family, about you." Her heart raced. "But he nearly signed away our legacy," Jenna exclaimed. "Sometimes, people need a gentle push to see the truth before it's too late," Mrs. Thompson said softly. "Here's what you need to know. There's a community preservation grant that can help save beloved local businesses like the Lawson, but your family must apply by dawn. If they see the community standing behind you, it may just turn the tide." Jenna's world shifted as hope ignited within her. "Mrs. Thompson, if we gather support, if I can show my dad that the town truly cares, maybe he'll believe. We can turn this around." With newfound determination, she rejoined the crowd, urgency surging through her veins. "Everyone," Jenna shouted, and the noise quieted as they turned to her. "We have one more chance to save the Lawson Hotel." Excitement rippled through the air as people leaned in, eager to hear more. "There's a community grant we can apply for, but we need to show support. We need testimonials, love letters, anything that proves how much this place means to all of you." Voices erupted, a tempest of agreement flowing forth as people began to share their stories. Memories pouring out like a river. An older woman recounted the time her husband proposed in the lobby. Another guest recalled the kindness they felt from the staff during a family crisis. "Grab your pens and paper," someone shouted, and soon enough, a flurry of activity enveloped Jenna. Together, they worked tirelessly, capturing every precious tale, every heartfelt message. A timeline of memories filled the lobby as banners began to sprout, celebratory decorations rising alongside hopes and dreams. Hour by hour, they crafted their proposals, their hearts stitched together with a single idea. The Lawson meant family, love, and community. It was worth fighting for. A renewed energy surged within them. Something they thought had been lost was now a roaring fire. As dawn crept onto the horizon, Jenna turned to her father, who had joined the crowd. She felt his eyes on her, a mix of awe and pride filling the space between them. "Dad, we're about to send this grant application. Will you believe in us now?" He looked around, taking in the sea of faces united, the atmosphere charged with purpose. "I had lost faith, but maybe you're right. Maybe we can save this place together." And in that moment, As the sun painted the sky with hues of hope and promise, Jenna felt the gaping void of their past begin to heal. They stood on the precipice of transformation, ready to embrace both family and community anew. With the completed application in hand, they banded together, ready to reclaim their legacy. The hotel wasn't just a structure now. It was a canvas of memories they would continue to paint together, crafting a vibrant future. As laughter mingled with light, Jenna realized that family, like the Lawson Hotel, wasn't merely about bricks and mortar. It was about connection, spirit, and the unwavering love that bound them all. And it would stand strong through every storm. "Let us make sure the Lawson lives on," she shouted joyously, the crowd roaring in response. This was the beginning of their new chapter, one where they would all thrive together. This is where they belonged. Now, do not miss another story. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss our future adventures. Hit that like button now to feed the algorithm and keep these incredible stories alive. Comment below with your reactions to Jenna's journey. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support matters more than you think.